What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, we are going over the third and final part in our three-part series on how to build a real estate team in 2023. You don't want to miss this one. The third part, the third stage in building a real estate team in 2023 is getting to the place where you go from part two, which is we do it, to the final part, which is they do it, or they do it with my support, with my help. All right. So if you haven't watched the first two episodes in this series, make sure you go back and watch or listen. Part one, just to give a short little recap here. Part one is how to make the transition from being a solo agent to a solo agent with support. So how do you go from 2 deals a month on your own to 3, 4, 5, 6 deals, maybe even with support, with an admin and an ISA, an inside sales agent. Part two is how do you go from that, right, from I do it with support to we do it. Right now you're starting to hire buyer's agents, you're starting to maybe get a partner agent or a listing agent, and you're building out a support team around them. And in this model, you can do hundreds of deals a year. You can really, crank out some volume. You're still in production though, by the way, right? In this model. So in this stage, the third part is getting to the place where they do it with my support, or they do it with my help. So to get to this place, you really have to start thinking less like a team, more like a company, right? If you're ready to make the transition to this stage, you probably have at least 10 agents on your team. You probably have a couple of inside sales agents, a couple people in marketing, a couple people on the administrative support. Now you have to think of leadership, right? The key to this, to really get to where you can work yourself out of production, is leadership. So you're probably going to need a COO, all right, a chief operating officer. This is probably someone that, maybe they've been with you for a while. They could be your first admin hire, right? And they've kind of helped you build, or they could be outside the organization, but you're going to need someone in that department that's going to run the operations, run the recruiting. You're going to need someone on the training side, right? Because part of being at this level is, you don't just have to recruit agents, right? You've got to bring them on and train them. So you're going to need someone that can be a sales trainer and a sales manager. And then, you'll probably need someone that can, at least at the department level, head up your inside sales agent department and your marketing department. All right. You're going to have to really start to get into a weekly cadence with meetings where, you review key dashboard items, right? How many leads did you generate? How many appointments did you book? How many of those appointments led to signed buyer agreements? How many of those appointments led to signed listing agreements? How many deals did you get under contract? Right? You have to, one of the things that really helped Carrie and I transform our business was when we really made an effort on focusing on what we call leading indicators rather than lagging indicators, right? Too many people focus on the P&L after it's done, or, close deals, or even ratify deals. And unfortunately, those type of metrics don't give you enough time to change the trajectory, right? At least for the next 30 days or so. If you really want to know where, what direction your organization, your group is going, your team, business, whatever is going in, you need to look at things like how many leads did I generate? How many appointments did I get, right? How many showings, right? These are all things that will indicate how many likely contracts you're going to get in the next 30 days. 60 days, 90 days, right? And you'll, how many agents did I onboard in the last month, right? These are all things that will help you take action before it is too late. So, as your group goes, you have to have the right C-level type people, right? Department heads. And you also have to start thinking of the leading indicators, particularly in this environment. Like there's the last couple of years in real estate, there's been a lot of volatility. Like everything kind of came to a grinding halt March of 2020, and then it, but that was very, very short lived. And then it swung wildly for the next almost 2 years, right? Where people were bombarded, and then the velocity of the market slowed down a lot, right? We saw that in the second half of 2022. So far in the, it's early in 2023, but with, a mild drop in interest rates, we saw, signs of velocity coming back to the market. Now, when I talk velocity, by the way, I'm not talking sales price up, down, any of that. I'm just talking about the number of deals out there. So, that being said, you really as a team leader need to stay on top of it, because it's quite, I think a lot of team leaders, it got easy to let the expenses get out of control, and deals were just, coming by left and right. And then, a lot of people were probably reluctant or slow to adjust cost, right? To adjust expenses when the deal flow changed. So you really need to stay on top of your leading indicators. The quicker you can do that, the better you'll adapt to no matter what the market does. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 3-part series on the different steps to build a team, going from that solo agent to, part 1 being the solo agent with support, to part 2, being a team leader where you're doing it with your team, to the third part where, you're more in the CEO role, less in production, and you're building a team that does it. So those are the kind of, maybe it's a little oversimplified, but the 3 steps, the 3 parts of team building that, even if you're a new agent, just start to think of like, where am I? Where do I want to go? What do I need to do to get to the next step? So thank you for listening. Please like this, share it, leave us feedback, good or bad. We'd love to hear it. And real quick, if you're a real estate agent and you want to do what a lot of real estate agents are doing right now, which is join the EXP disruption. I mean, agents are just coming from everywhere, from franchises, independents, all sorts of places. Real estate agents are making the move to EXP. Carrie and I would be honored to talk to you about joining EXP, and we'd be honored for you to choose us as your sponsor. So if you are thinking about joining EXP and looking for a sponsor, please send me a text message, 703-638-4393. I would be honored to talk to you. I'll see you next time.